Aston Villa nil, Manchester United nil. Terrible performance. Yeah, man, where do we start? Where the hell do we start? I mean, Eric Ten Hag, it looks like, yeah, me watching that game, like the squad, the team that he selected, the starting 11, he was screaming out, sack me. I'm gonna be real. The starting 11 that Eric Ten Hag picked for today's game against Aston Villa was screaming out, sack me. It looks like the manager has given up on himself. He's giving up on the team, he's giving up on the club, he's giving up on the fans. Eric Ten Hag is not on this. He's not about this life. He doesn't want it. He's quit. He doesn't care anymore. That's the only reason why he will select a back four of Maguire and Johnny Evans. Maguire, the same player that Eric Ten Hag wanted to sell just a couple seasons ago. Johnny Evans, who's 35, 36 years old, who came on a free. These are the two players that he started over Martinez, Delete. Do you know what I mean? Eric Ten Hag had over £100 million worth of centre-backs on the bench. If this is not telling you everything you need to know about this manager, then I don't know where you are. You're still delusional. How are you spending over £100 million on two centre-backs, Delete and Martinez, and put them on the bench? Do you know what I mean? What it says to me is the manager's quit. Oh, the manager doesn't even know his own identity. He doesn't even know how he wants the team to play. He can't even trust certain players. How are you not trusting players that you spend over £100 million on? What message are you sending to the fans? What message are you sending to the board? The people who are in charge of the club? I just don't get it. When I saw that starting lineup, I was like, listen, this guy, he's had enough. He's gone. He wants that P45. And you know what? Sir Jim Ratcliffe, give Eric Ten Hag his P45 because the guy looks done out. The guy looks like he's run out of ideas. Once again, no style of play. That midfield of Kobe Mainu, Ericsson, Bruno Fernandes, too slow, terrible. They can't kick the ball. They can't pass. They can't string 5 passes together between them. Bruno Fernandes, another nightmare of a game, giving away silly passes. Do you know what I mean? When there'll be opportunities for him to play the ball forward, he'll give the ball away. Or he'll play the pass too long or too short. Bruno Fernandes has been getting away with murder this whole time. He's been terrible this season. Let's not mince our words here. Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely terrible this season. And in his dropping, I feel like that red card that he got against Tottenham here could have been a blessing in disguise, but unfortunately he got overturned and he's back on the team. And I feel like these guys slowing the team down. He never gets dropped no matter how terrible, how bad he plays. Bruno Fernandes always plays every single game. That's one thing I really don't understand. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I watched him today, he just looked out of it. He looks like a player that needs to be taken out of the firing line, taken out of the team by the manager, but the manager is not strong. We've got a manager that is not strong enough. He can't deal with these players that are just slacking. When Rashford was slacking, he played him every game. When Rashford finds a bit of form, he takes him off. Like, this manager is just a walking contradiction. Do you know what I mean? Like, Martinez and Delete, look, they didn't play well on Thursday against Porto. They were terrible. I get it. But you drop them straight away, right? But then you've had players in the past who've played terrible. Bruno has been playing terrible. So why'd you start him? Why'd you drop Martinez and Delete, but then you don't drop Bruno Fernandes, who's been terrible the whole season? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just something about this manager, it just doesn't make no sense. It really doesn't. And I'm really frustrated and I've become a bit disillusioned, to be honest with you, because I don't really understand, what's really going on. And, when you look at today's starting lineup, it's like the manager's sticking 2 fingers up the fans. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, listen, I don't give a F. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Even though Manchester United didn't lose that game, they still didn't control the game. Like, there's no style of play. There's no pattern of play. I don't know what's going on. I'm really confused by what the future is under this manager. I don't even think he knows what the future is. I think he's had enough. He has to go. And so Jim Radcliffe, these guys that are in charge, you need to do him a favor and get him out of the club. Put Van Nistelrooy on as interim, whatever, while you're still looking for another manager. Whereby it'll be too cool. Xabi, go get Alonso from Bayer Leverkusen, go get someone, Inzaghi, whatever. Bring someone else in to rejuvenate this team, to at least put a style of play, yeah, on this squad, yeah, that it can enable them to be competitive. Because at the moment, Manchester United are just not competitive in games. They don't create enough. They don't create enough opportunities. They can't hold the ball up. They're greedy, some of these players, where they need to pass, they shoot. Where they have to shoot, they pass. Like, the decision making in game is terrible. And I understand, yeah, everything is not always about the manager, yeah. But in this instance, the manager has to be changed, because these results have been going on for too long. Manchester United are 14th in the league after what, 7 games. They've got 8 points in 7 games, conceded 8 goals, yeah, and scored 5. A goal difference of -3. That's embarrassing for Manchester United. Embarrassing. They haven't scored a single goal in the last 3 games in the Premier League. They didn't score against Crystal Palace, blank. They didn't score against Tottenham, blank. And they didn't score today as well. And I'll be honest with you, in the last 2 games, they haven't looked like they can score. They haven't created much. Yes, Bruno Fernandes hit the bar, hit the post, whatever. But apart from that, they're not creating clear-cut chances. They're not opening teams up. They're not carving up chances. They're not, I'm not seeing patterns of play where there's interchanging, linking players, linking up. Do you know what I mean? Dribbling up. I don't see what do you call it? I don't see the team, putting a sustainable amount of pressure on the opposition for long periods of the game. Do you know what I mean? I haven't, under Eric Ten Hag, I haven't seen Manchester United absolute dominate a game for 90 minutes. Or even, do you know what I mean? I just haven't seen it. They don't have sustained pressure where you keep banging on that door until the team collapse. Like, I haven't seen that under this manager. And it says a lot. After spending over £600 million, yeah, still no style of play. Yeah, you're having to revert back to players that you didn't want to play. You wanted to sell. You're dropping the signings that you made. These are your players. Delete, Martinez, Ugarte. You're dropping these players to bring in the likes of Evans, Maguire. Do you know what I mean? Ericsson, these guys that you go for free, or you didn't even want them. You wanted to sell them. So the manager himself is suffering from an identity crisis. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore on that with this team. And there has to be a change. Someone's got to make this decision. Otherwise, this slump is just going to continue. It's the international break right now. There's 2 weeks. This is the best opportunity. Get rid of this manager. Bring someone else, tell Ruud van Nistelrooy he's in charge for the interim. Let him work with a squad during this international break. Why prolong it? Do you know what I mean? Why keep putting the fans, under this type of, what can I call it, like stress? The fans are stressed. The fans are disillusioned. The fans just don't understand anymore what the hell is going on in this football club. It's been going on for far too long, and it's really getting bad right now. Manchester United, the biggest football club in the world. I'm talking commercially, brand-wise and everything. We know on the pitch they're struggling. But for them to be 14th in the league after 7 games, they can't score goals. They've scored 5 goals, conceded 8. That's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. And it just can't continue. It can't continue like this. It cannot continue. I said on my last video I made about Eric Ten Hag, he's getting toxic. There's rumors that he's falling out with players left, right, center. This is not good. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for the club. It's not good for the fan base. Just not good for the morale of the squad. Like, just end it now. Do you know what I mean? Just end it now, because him starting Evans and Maguire in this game today, even though, I give credit to Maguire and Evans, they did really well. Evans got mad at the match. That says a lot about that game, because Aston Villa themselves were poor. But you know what? I can excuse Aston Villa. They had a big game against Bayern Munich, probably their biggest game in over 40 years in the club's history. That was big, and they beat Bayern Munich 1-0. So Aston Villa will probably still hangover from that game. They were tired. They're getting used to playing on a Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. They're getting used to this, rotating the squad, etc. And they had a few injuries. So I can excuse Aston Villa for their lackluster performance today. But Manchester United, no excuse, man. It's been poor the whole time. Emery, Unai Emery has done a great job with Aston Villa. We can't say the same about Erik ten Hag, especially this season, especially when it comes to style of play and in-game management, etc. He's just getting worse and worse as the weeks go by, and he's really sad to watch. It's really sad to watch. The communication with the players is just not there. Whatever he's trying to put through across to the players, they're just not understanding it. They're not adapting to the tactics. They're not implementing the style of play that he wants. He keeps chopping and changing. Last season, he was saying that it's all about he had too many injuries. He couldn't play the same, back four. He was changing it week in, week out. He had to resort to playing Casemiro in the back four, etc., etc. But this season, mate, you've got all the defenders available to you, mate. You've got all the defenders available to you. You've even gone and bought defenders. But it's you. You dropped them today. You dropped Martinez. You dropped Delete. So what does he say? What does he really say about you as a manager? And can we trust you going forward? I don't think we can. The jury's out on Erik ten Hag. I think a lot of the fans that were backing him say, give him time, give him until the end of the season. I think he's lost them. Especially with that squad selection today against Aston Villa. He's lost those fans. Those fans are gone. He lost me like 2 weeks ago. I ain't gonna lie. I was backing Erik ten Hag, but he lost me like 2 weeks ago. I don't even want nothing to do with him. He has to go right now. Because for a club the size of Manchester United, those kind of performances are embarrassing, man. Absolutely embarrassing, man. The coach, he cannot get away with that. Any other big club around the world would have sacked this manager a long time ago. We get it. He's won 2 trophies. We get it. But the performances in the league have been absolutely terrible. Manchester United are one of those teams now, yeah. Like, as the fans, yeah, the fans don't know when the next win is coming from. Do you know what I mean? They don't know where the next win is coming from. Let's be real here. Manchester United, after the international break, I think they go Brentford, West Ham. They'll probably lose. They could lose both games. You know what I mean? It's not like a Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, even Tottenham. You look at certain fixtures in a calendar, yeah, you see, okay, maybe Man City, they've got West Ham, they've got Aston Villa, they've got Brentford or whatever. You can actually say, yeah, the same thing can be said about Arsenal as well. You can actually pinpoint certain games in the calendar and say, you know what, Arsenal are going to win that game, Liverpool are going to win that game. But with Manchester United, you can't. Right now, you can't. If Manchester United were playing Ipswich right now, you can't confidently or wholeheartedly say with chest and say Manchester United are going to win that game, because you just don't know what team's going to turn up. And because they're not creating chances, they're conceding more than they're creating. You can't even see where the goals are coming from for Manchester United right now, because they don't score enough goals. They don't score enough goals. And the proof is that this season, I mean, some of the decision making on the pitch, Garnacho, it was what, 3v2 in like the 86 minutes. He just had to square it to Fernandes, and Fernandes would have had an open goal, yeah. But nah, like he does a silly pass and he hits the first defender. Like, silly things like that, just messing everything up. Decision making by the players is poor. I know the manager is terrible. The manager has to leave 100%, but some of these players have to look themselves in the mirror and think to themselves, and really think to themselves, am I doing the best here? Am I playing to the best of my ability? Because listen up, Ten Hag, they'll get rid of him. Yeah, I think that's written on the wall. That's done. He's gonna go. Whether he goes tomorrow, Monday, whether he goes during the week or after the Brentford game when they get smacked up, Ten Hag, he's not gonna survive the season. I think we all know that now. Yeah, he's perfectly clear he's not gonna survive. But some of these players here, you have to start fighting for your future, man. You're playing for Manchester United, one of the biggest football clubs in the world. Come on, put in a shift, man. Create more chances, man. Have a bit of arrogance about you. What happened to the Manchester United? They're arrogant. They'll rock up to teams, go to different stadiums around the country and say, listen, we're going to beat you today. We're coming to your home ground and we're going to smash you. Now Manchester United are going to like Villa Park and all these other stadiums. Like, they're scared, man. They're parking the bus. They're playing safe, midfield, all over the place. No legs in midfield. No one can control the ball. No one can pass the ball. Eriksen was trying. Bruno Fernandes didn't do no one no favors. He was absolute crap, rubbish, giving the ball away. I just don't know, man. With this team, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. They look so disjointed. It doesn't matter who comes in. Ugarte came in. He looked bad in the first 2 games. and people were hyping him up like he's gonna come in and fix the defensive issues in the midfield. He's come in, he's been dropped. 60 million signing by Eric Ten Hag, dropped to the bench. He didn't even come on as a sub. Casemiro came on. And how many times has Casemiro like just made mistakes and cost Man United the game? But Casemiro is more trusted than Ugarte. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. This manager, everyone, after the FA Cup win, everyone like, thought, let's give this guy a chance. But I think that was a big mistake, man. After the FA Cup win, they should have just got rid of him, bring someone in. Because right now, 7 games into the season, it feels like already Man United have to write this season off in the league because it's already looking a waste. 8 points in 7 games and scored 5 goals, conceded 8. That's a joke, mate. And they don't look like they can even score. Xerxes came on. Oh my God. Don't let me get. Xerxes came on. Oh, this club is so infectious, man. It is so infectious. Like, Xerxes come on. We have hope. This guy scores in his first game against Fulham. He comes on, can't keep hold of the ball. You've got the ball right there, man. Just square it. Little passes. The guy can't hold the ball up. He can't pass. He looked terrible when he came on. I don't know if it's just this poison that's around the club is just getting to everyone. He's just getting to everyone. All these players are just underperforming. Terrible. Rasmus Højlund, terrible in the first half, man. Wayward passes, can't hold the ball up, making silly runs. Man, it's just listen, man. The whole thing is just terrible. Even when the new manager comes in, when the new manager does come in, because it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Whoever that manager is, whether it's Ruud van Nistelrooy, Tuchel, whoever comes in and replaces Eric Ten Hag. Listen, they've got a job in their hands picking some of these players up and getting them to perform because they're terrible. These players are terrible. It looks like Man United will have to spend another 600 million just to get rid of the 600 million worth of players that they just bought. Do you know what I mean? How crazy is that? Man United have to spend another 600 million to get rid of the 600 million worth of players they just bought. That is a joke. Poor recruitment all over the place. Absolutely poor recruitment all over the place. It's unbelievable. You could not make this up. Seriously, you could not make this up. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. And Eric Ten Hag is done. Is done. Let me know what you think in the comments. There's no way you still believe that Eric Ten Hag deserves another chance. Deserves to see off the season. At this rate, he don't deserve to see next week. He should be sacked first thing tomorrow morning on a Monday as he turns up to training. Here's your P45. Goodbye. Hasta la vista. Auf Wiedersehen. We never want to see you ever again. Pay him his £17 million in installments. Give him $2 million a year until he's all paid off because he doesn't deserve a lump sum payment. It's been a joke, man. He's taking a mick this season, man. Absolutely taking a mick out of the fans and everyone. We're just not buying this anymore. It's not on. It's not on. It's not on. This rot that the club are in right now has to stop. Right now, it has to stop. And we start with the manager. He picks the team. He comes up with a system and the tactics and everything. And since the beginning of the season, it's been terrible. It's been poor. Nothing's changed since last season where we lost 14 games in the league. Absolutely terrible. 14 games lost in the league. That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, guys, man, nothing more to say really, man. Just let me know what you think. I know a lot of you fans are upset. I understand your pain. I really share your pain with you. And, it's just not on, man. For a club the size of Manchester United, this is just not on. The manager is absolutely out of his depth. The pressure has got to him. He can't handle the players. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's come away from the philosophy that he had at Ajax, where he played beautiful football, interchanging passes and everything like that, controlling games, to playing Lindelof in the second half, Maguire, Evans. It looks like Manchester United have regressed another 10 years. even after spending 600 million in the last 2 seasons. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. But get involved, man. Let me know in the comments, what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I really appreciate that. Yeah, man. I understand a lot of the fans' frustration and everything like that. And yeah, I don't blame you, man. I feel exactly the same, man. I feel exactly the same. You look at a club that, once upon a time dominated English football, etc., etc. I get it. And I get it, like the Premier League is more competitive now. You've got teams like Newcastle, Tottenham, Aston Villa, who are competing up there. Do you know what I mean? So, teams have evolved and the Premier League is more competitive now, but that's not an excuse for Manchester United to be 14th. I think they're like 5 points above the relegation places. That's a joke, man. This is relegation form by Manchester United here. If this was Real Madrid or Barcelona, this guy would get sacked, man. And Manchester United right now, their hierarchy have to be ruthless. Get rid of this guy right now before he gets even worse. How low can he get? How low can he get? That's my question. And yeah, listen, man, I'm going to stay here and waste too much time. I've said what I had to say. I've shared my thoughts. And yeah, I just feel like this manager has to go. And he has to go right now and bring someone else in because, it's frustrating as a fan every week watching the team play, poor performances, can't create. There's no cohesion within the squad. It's just nothing. Nothing. The team depends on individual brilliance. There's no patterns of play. There's nothing. You might as well not have a manager on the touchline because there's no tactics anyway. They're doing what they want. What's the point of having a manager? Just get rid of the manager, man. But listen, I'm done, man. I'm out here. I've had enough, man. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe. I'll really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.